Uh, and we're here. We are here. Good morning. I'm up. Don't worry, y'all. I am up. Trust me. People been calling me since the ass crack of dawn. And oh, boy. Oh, yeah. What's up, y'all? What's up? Just got a text, y'all. Give me a second. Give me a second. Um, yeah, we are here this morning. We are here. Anyway, what was I about to say? Good morning. I'm sorry. Let me put a quick shot. I ain't even looked in the chat to see um what's going on. Let me put a quick shot. Shondo in the chat to everybody. Hey y'all. Hey. What up? 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 What's up, people? What's up? Hey everybody in the room as y'all come in, gather yourselves. Hey y'all, Shondo, everybody. Um, dear God. Whew. Anyway, hey, really B. Hey, oh, hey, Robbie. Oh God. Hey, Abby. Ooh, let me give Abby her virtual blowjob. Oh dear God. Hey, Purple King. Hey, Sly Sylvia. Hey, everybody. Oh God. Hey, Reese Speaks. Hey, Captain Baby. Oh God, the katana blades are out this morning, y'all. They are out. Ooh, chat. Anyway, y'all. Yes. It's just Saturday. I hear there's been a lot going on this week. So I've been told. Ooh, Lord. Anyway, y'all. So we gonna talk about a lot. You know we're gonna do what we always do. We're gonna learn. We gonna laugh. We throw a little light shade. Shouts out to QB and do what we got to do. Ciao. Everybody want to say hey to Captivate Christian? That's fine. I'm glad that y'all flirt with him because when he comes to my bed, then that makes me feel like, oh, I got somebody to keep with me. Hmm. But my peoples always remember before the people would check him for them, I was already there. Anyway, um, but hey everybody. Hey Just Jay, what's going on, y'all? Shondo to the people in the room. I know everybody in their mama line this morning, honey. The people are over there watching all kinds of people, child, which I'm kind of glad about because that means that we can just have our normal small setting and intimate setting. And you know, we get a little more debaucherous when it's more intimate. So yeah. Ooh, child. Mm. So I do want to, if you notice, and I'm going to let you know what one of my big topics is for today, so you can get your questions and stuff ready. So if you notice, I have my title is Angry Teacher Chronicles. Across the fruited plains, just about every school district in this country has already completed the first quarter. I don't think there's anybody that hasn't completed the first quarter. So today, I wanted to come on and be able to just talk a little bit of education. I really want to take your question as somebody who has this year makes what my 16th year as an educator, teaching from the most affluent schools to the most gutter schools, having taught in different states and different areas. I do want to be able to give you an opportunity to ask educate questions about education that may relate to your own children that you may have or your own educational experiences. I have taught on the middle school level, high school level, and on the college level. I've taught on all three of those levels. So if you have questions, go ahead and get your questions ready because I will go into some education talk today so that we can learn a little something and I can give you all gems and little nuggets from an inside perspective. A lot of times, even when you do have some people in education who may come on, they're going to give you the censored or filtered answer. And I'm here to dispel all of those censored and filtered answers and get down to the crux and meat and potatoes of a lot of stuff. So if you have questions or I'm going to give you some time where you can start to, gather your questions together. If you do have a question, because sometimes I miss stuff in the chat, please put question before your question, okay? So write the word question before your question that you want me to answer. I really wanted to give you all this time for me to open myself. I know we have some other educators in the room, and I wanted to give you all this time so that whether it's on the college level, on the high school level, on the middle school level, I want to be able to answer your questions and give you all some really, really, really good answers to a lot of your questions and allow you all to get um, an educator, somebody who's in the field perspective. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me see who's up in the chat. Mm. I see the mods are here. Hey, y'all. Hey, mods are here today. Oh, child, it's all this blue up in here today. The mods are not playing with you. Apparently, they're not playing this morning. Woo. Let me go back up now. Hey, Nappy Child. Hey, um, hey, Just J. Hey, Volvo. Hey, little baby. Hey, Jada. Hey, little bro. You been missing, little bro. You been missing. No, where you be at? You be in your room doing your little science experiments and stuff in there. Child. I hope that science experiment don't involve the Jergens lotion I've been looking for. I've been looking for that Lubriderm, that mother boy. And somebody told me it's been in your room. That's why you've been denying all this time. Dear God. Child. Anyway. Hey Mariah Whitney Boo. Mariah Whitney, we had a lot going on this week. Hey, Sly Sylvia. Hey, BB Nice. Hey, Robbie. Hey, everybody in the chat. Yes. Hey, everybody. Hey. We're just here. We just feel we're having a great day. The coffee this morning is extra good. Extra good this morning. Whew. Mariah Whitney made me bad. It might have been Mariah Whitney, y'all. It really, listen, Jaded, we had, we were in the living room last night. All of the siblings were in the living room. You was up in your room with the Lubriderm and Jergens doing God knows what. And, there was a lot that went down last night, Jaded. I don't know what you was doing up in there, but little bro, I was like, oh, little bro, you should have been up, bro. You should have been up in here to help keep big sis on the porch. I mean, she was doing, baby, she was doing a somersault, layback, double twisted, with a kick off of. I mean, she was doing triple sow cows off the porch. Okay. That woman was doing her emulation of Midori Ito hitting a triple axel off the porch last night. Dear God, Whew, child, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. Mm. Ooh, Lord. Child, I'm sorry. I'm looking at something. I'm sorry, y'all. In teacher talk, did y'all see the video of the teacher fighting the student? Child. Child. Ooh, Lord. Did y'all see that video? Child. Wait, what Jaded said? What are you talking about? Child. Child. Uh-uh. Child, spinning bird kick head. Yes. Yes, honey. Yes. So we're gonna be dropping all gems all morning. Now, let me say this. Oh, did y'all read this? Pornhub offers T.I.'s daughter $1 million to lose her virginity on film. Wait, the stuff that I run across in my blogs, I just find. Oh my God. Y'all are not doing this morning, dear Lord, dear Jesus. Oh God. I just read the listen. The the title says Pornhub offers T.I.'s daughter $1 million to lose virginity on film. Shall I read the article? Shall I read the article? Shall. Article says T.I. broke the internet last week when he revealed that he goes to his daughter with his daughter to her gynecologist and watches the doctor check. Wait, he watches her check? Oh dear God. T.I. says he does this to confirm that his daughter, Deja Imani Harris, is still a virgin. Well, since T.I. said this, we have now just gotten word that Pornhub, the popular porn website, is offering T.I.'s daughter $1 million to lose her virginity on video. We highly doubt T.I.'s daughter will accept this offer, but the level of disrespect given to T.I. by Pornhub.com is interesting. T.I. has not yet responded to the offer, and we can only imagine what he will say. Stay tuned for more updates. Oh, y'all. Since I am a virgin and as pure as the driven snow, Pornhub, can I get $1 million offer? Because I might take y'all up on this offer. I'm just saying, I am as pure as the driven snow. I mean, yeah, I'm going to get to the teacher one too before we get into our education talk. I don't know who Cookie Tookie is, Mariah Whitney. So yeah, that is falling on deaf ears. Hey Rochelle, um, so we putting a price on virginity. Child. If there was a price for my virginity, child, it wasn't much, honey. Well, actually, my virginity was broken by the person that I was with. I loved with every fiber of my soul. I think we told that story on a story time once. So if I could put a price on it, I know it wasn't worth $1 million. Because baby, the pain that I was in, the pain, the searing pain. Let's not get it twisted. It never felt good. The entire experience was horrible. My whole body was on fire the whole time. I started to give up sex forever. I said, oh, this is what y'all have been clamoring for and talking about all this time. I want no parts of it because my whole body was on fire. Jesus Lord. I mean, it doesn't help that I was trying to stick a baby's arm holding an apple inside of parts of my body. But still, the amount of pain, dear God. Anyway, let me move on and see what y'all writing. Hey, Yana. Um, I'm not reading Mariah. I have already stopped reading Mariah Whitney. I have already stopped reading Mariah Whitney's comment. I've already stopped. Already. I have already stopped. There are people who pay hundreds, even thousands of, I think that's dollars, to take a woman's virginity. It's very sick. Well, there's a lot going on. Child, Mariah Whitney. Mariah, see, I'm funny how he out there begging everything other than his wife being the police of his daughter's good. Tell it. That's terrible. What happened to Lou? Lou? Wait, how did we get on Lou? If you should need Lou, see my moderators because they keep individual lubrication packets, condoms, and wipes for afterwards for you to utilize. Ciao. Ciao. But yes, how many? Can y'all put in the chat how much your virginity you think it was worth? Because most of us have already lost it. How much? I'm not going to say how much your virginity was worth. How much was the sex worth that you had that broke your virginity? We're not going to say how much your virginity was worth, but how much was the sex worth that? Because I would say, with the amount of pain that I experienced, I would say that first time was worth about, now if you talking about the first time I ever had sex, which was with a girl, oh, that sex was worth about $8.43. That sex was worth about $8.43 because baby, all she got was about a good 4 strokes. And I mean, because I was young, I was innocent back then. So, that was worth about a good $4. $8.43. That's all it was worth. That's all she got. Now I got better, baby. That first go round, all she got was $8.43 worth. But my first experience with the dude, I ain't gonna say it was that cheap because we went a while longer. So I'll put it at about $74.13. We're gonna say $74.13. I'll give him that. But maybe the pain afterwards, good Lord. Mm-hmm. What? Mariah Whitney, I told you I'm not reading what you're writing, dear God. Boy. A bag of fruities from the candy lady. Woo, we always go left. God. It was worth the bottle of Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill it took to make it happen. Ooh, not the Boone's. Not the bottle of Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill it took to make it happen. Oh, child. Child. I think yeah, that first time was worth, what year was that? Because I remember I had just bought a cassette tape or something. I know what I had bought. I had bought the remix to R. Kelly's 12 play. I bought the single for 12 play and they had all the remixes on there. And because my part was where he used to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 play, 12 play, 12 play. That was my jam back in the day. I know we don't cancel R. Kelly and all of that, but that was my jam back in the day. Child, who you mad at? Who you mad at? Anyway, we played that child. I ain't even give that young lady 12 strokes, and I was playing 12 plays. She didn't even get a whole 12 strokes. Trying to tell you, $8.43. $8.43. Chat, chat. Anyway, mine was worth about $5. We were both virgins and clueless. I didn't do it again for you. Shawnette, I'm telling you. Child. Raphael, you say about $10? Listen, y'all. That first go round at sex, child, child. Oh, well. Oh, well then. Oh, I'm sorry. I just got a present in my inbox. Oh, wow. Look at God. Do Jesus and do him well. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I just got distracted. Oh, but that was a good distraction. Mm, mm. What? Listen, I can't even focus on y'all because the children are going ham. Every time I try to focus on y'all, the children go ham in our group chat, and they over here going off. I mean, got all these chats going on. Child. What receipts he talk about he want to see? What receipts did you talk about, Jada? I'm not doing this with y'all today. Anyway, well, man, I'm way behind on the chat. No J. What we said no to Jada for? Where the lesbians? They have a lesbian panel. BB Nice was in here. She's on the lesbian panel. Child, Golden. Child, we know at Bennett College or whatever high school that was in the great District of Columbia might tell us differently, really be. Mine was worth 75 cents. I paid for the pack of Now Lady. Child! Ooh, child. It took me longer to hear that than to have sex. Child. Hey, Carolyn Alexander. I'm way behind y'all. Does mouth virginity count? Ooh. My first time didn't hurt, but he was tiny. My first time was with my husband. My first time with my husband, but that shit was worth 5.5 million. How do you get the mouth? How do you get the mouths or anals? Wait, what do y'all got going on in this good chat? Lord, the chat, the chat. And I love it. I'm here for all of it. I'm here for y'all, chat. Let me put a shondo in the chat. Cause y'all are going in the chat. And I love y'all in the chat. Hey, chat, y'all just keep it going. Yeah, it was opinion. It was, yeah. That was Rochelle, if you must know, that was the day I forgot to send my good morning text. And so I was ceremoniously sent salacious, seedy pictures and to remind me, yeah, that I should say good morning. Chat. Chat. Girl. Ooh, Lord. Anyway. Chat. Where am I? Y'all, good. All right, so seeing if anything else. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. What else y'all say? Remember when it's sex used to be demonized and used as a power to not everybody freely admits to it. I knew it. We know that. Look at child. You know it, Rochelle. You know it. Mm. So y'all, yeah, that I just was strolling through one of my blogs, and I saw that thing about Ti's daughter. I said, oh, child. Oh Lord. So there's a video that recently has gone viral of this teacher. Y'all know I love to read my article. New subscriber, saw you on the gentleman's panel. You are too much, and I love it. Well, thank you. Is that corrupt MC? I'm gonna say it's corrupt MC. Thank you, Shondo, in the chat to you. Shondo in the chat. Don't forget, y'all, get y'all educational questions ready because I am here. I don't know if Really B will be here still by the time I get to that part, because I know she's going to go watch Araminta Ross, the movie about Araminta Ross, and so I know she's going to go do that. So yes, so she won't be in here for long. She's probably already gone anyway. No. All right. So what was I about to say? Oh, so here's what the article. Oh, this article kind of long. I'll try to do it real fast, y'all. A teacher has been arrested after video surfaced of a fight between a staff member and at least one student Friday morning at a Maryland high school. Really, B? Prince George's County police confirmed the assault took place at around 10:23 a.m. Friday, and that video has surfaced of the incident. Police investigating that video. Police, these people cannot. I don't know who's writing this blog. Police investigated that video and confirmed the teacher arrested is a woman in her mid-30s, seen in the clip wearing a gray shirt. In the beginning of the video, you hear the teacher advising the 17-year-old to talk to a third party or a parent before the student walks forward and bumps the teacher. That's when the teacher appears to swing at the 17-year-old from behind. Police Chief Hank Stowinski called the nature of this assault extraordinarily violent and criminal at a Friday news conference. Police did not immediately name the teacher, but tell sources she could be facing physical child abuse and second-degree assault charges. Everything about the particular incident was completely unacceptable, said County Executive Angela Alsobrooks. I had a chance to review the video, and I understand that this is still under investigation, as the chief has indicated. But anyone who views the video will agree that it makes you feel absolutely irate to see what transpired in this classroom. The grandma in this article did. In addition to the teacher, police are also investigating the actions of the 17-year-old student. Stowinski told reporters at the Friday news conference there was physical contact between the two before the fight caught on video erupted. A Prince George's County police official said there's a portion of the video where the female student is seen going back to punch and kick the teacher when she could have stood aside. County leaders say around 30 students and 8 administrators are now being questioned as the investigation continues. Neither the student nor teacher sought medical help after the assault, according to police. All right. So now, y'all know I love to give y'all a video. Let's watch this here video. Hold on, I gotta turn my sound back up. Hold on. All right. So let's watch this here video. Let me get a little close. I know I'm good for a good video. Oh, you ain't gonna do nothing, honey. Cause baby, she done already got all in there. You ain't gonna fuck nobody up, baby. Whoo, child. Whoo. Baby, you over there in the corner talking about who you gonna fuck up. No, baby, you ain't doing nothing. Whoa, whoa, wow, baby, wow, wow, wow. I had not seen the video either. I had heard about it, but I had not seen it. I think really be teachers in Prince George's County, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, let me take a sip of coffee. Dear Lord. Oh. Now, I have to agree. Something happened before we saw the video, before the video surfaced. Okay? Baby, listen. Ooh, the teacher said, baby, today is not that day. Something happened, and I'm going to tell you, something didn't just happen that day, but this, you don't just go off like that after one incident. This was the culmination of that teacher probably said, you know what? Mm-mm. Now, baby, I don't put up with you all this time. Baby, today is that day. And the student probably thought, now I'm just speculating here. This is all speculation and no legend. The student probably thought, girl, you ain't did nothing all these other times. Girl, I'm going to bump you again and it's going to be all right. Baby, that teacher probably said, that's why she was probably saying, you might want to get a third party involved or your parents involved before you come over here with your foolishness. And baby, she probably said, I'm here for it because ain't nothing going to happen to me. And how I know something happened before that, why was somebody already videotaping? You see what I'm saying? A student is not just going to start videotaping that fast if it was something just, if something had not happened before that. If there wasn't a reason to say, oh, let me get this on film. You know what I'm saying? So something had transpired before that. Something was said, probably by that student to that teacher. And maybe that teacher said, listen, today is not the day, boo. Now I don't let you slide. 18 days. Not today. Not so much today. Baby. And that's why at the beginning she was saying you might want to get your mama or a third party involved because I'm not here for it. Hey Vivian. So that's what I'm saying. Students ain't just videotaping like that. And the other part about it is most teachers don't play like that about videos in class. It's illegal to videotape in the classroom anyway. So a teacher always you can't videotape in the class. So there had to be something that transpired just before that that made that student say, "Well, I need to get this on video." But baby, that student bumped her, and the teacher what? The student looked a little bigger than the teacher. Baby, it didn't matter. Baby, that teacher said, "Get over here!" Ooh, baby, baby, baby shark, do 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 do. And this is something that I say to students all the time as we drift into our teacher talk. Um, because no, it didn't sound like it was from what they were saying. I don't think it was a sub, but I don't know. I don't know if it was the actual teacher or the sub. I don't know. Maybe she should have left Mama Girl alone. A lot of times, students, a lot of times, not to remind them of this all the time. I tell them, listen, let me help y'all understand something. At the moment that you want to step into the grown person's octagon and think that you finna come at me either verbally or physically in that manner, please understand when the doors of the octagon close, that's it. All bets are off. Because you decided you was gonna be grown, and now they're gonna be calling other grown people to help get me off of you. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. And so that's what happened. Baby, you see, they was calling all kind of people because baby, she was weighing her out. She over there talking about, well, I'm gonna bump you up. No, baby, you ain't gonna bump nobody up. Baby, she had to already got you together. She had to already got you together. Child, child. That's one of the parts of education that's unfortunate is you end up being caught. And no, by no means and by no stretch of the imagination do people think that on their job they're going to get assaulted verbally and physically at times and have to just sit back and not defend themselves. But teachers are asked to do that. Baby, let me tell you something. I said it all with the eyes and the facial expressions. Let me go back and see what y'all said in these good comments. The teacher beat her for every student that had ever disrespected her. Yes. When I was a teacher in DC, I saw many teachers do the perp walk in front of the school after the student jumped on the teacher. These are facts. So I got this from the Twitter. Silver Jacket, the student, kept asking Gray Shirt, the teacher, to fix her grade, but the teacher just ignored her and proceeded to teach the class. That will lead to our teacher talk. That's going to be save that part for the teacher talk. Where am I at? The student kept following her around the class in an attempt to get the teacher to listen to her, and it was becoming real heated. I don't know what happened before that because I had left the class to answer a call. But when I came back in there, excuse me, there back in, they were in the middle of the class. I sat down, then I heard, "Did you just step on my shoe?" From then I zoned out. I zoned back in when the fight broke out. Wow. Okay, so that came from Twitter. Thank y'all for the investigative reporting. Y'all are on it this morning. Where am I at? All right. What did that do for retention and teacher morale? Good question. She needed to get her parents involved. They'll tell you sound like you will be hacking up camp. Are school systems okay with teachers defending themselves in those situations? Well, fortunately, just Jay, I am no longer in the classroom. I now work with the adults. So I teach the teachers now. So I no longer am in the classroom. No, they are not. Even though in the last couple of weeks I have gone into classrooms to help teachers with their classes. Hey, Mom Chip. Hey, Boo. How are you this morning, my love? Hey, Channel 85. I hope I didn't miss nobody else. Hey, Shawnette. Hey, everybody. Shondo to everybody. So yeah, they arrested one teacher on his hospital bed after several students beat this teacher with poles. Wow. These are the things that I'm telling you. You are expected to sit there and take it. Mind you, if you teach high school, a lot of those high school kids are bigger than you. Let's just be honest. Yes, I do, Rochelle. I conduct trainings for teachers. Like I work down at the district doing professional developments and stuff, and developing curriculum as well. Have you seen in the classroom you've been visiting? Well, classroom management, a lot of it has to do with classroom management as well, because my students know I have a very strict rule. Once you sit down, I don't need you getting up no more. No, the only person walking around is me. Baby, baby, at the moment that that young lady got up and started walking around my classroom, hey, sweetheart, you must be going to leave because we're not. What are you up for? What are you walking around for? And I give my students the perfect example of why I don't like people walking around. Because when you have a large gathering of people, I call it the Martin Luther King parade syndrome. I say that because I live in Miami. Just Jay is from not just Jay, just one and only is from Miami. So we have the Martin Luther King parade like a lot of cities. Now, Martin Luther King parade over the years has turned into a death trap. Okay, people like to shoot it up. We end up at the park at Martin Luther King Park. That's where it ends. Every year, what ends up happening is you sitting there with your friends, family, or whatever. You don't know what happened. You just see a large group of people start running. And what you and your friends and family start doing, running too. You have no idea why you're running. You don't care why you're running. All you know is your body says, oh, there's imminent danger. I'm running. This is Miami and this is the Martin Luther King parade. So I need to run too. We'll figure out why we was running when we stop or get to the car. But we running for now. And so I feel the same way in my classroom. If I see a bunch of students getting up and walking, what y'all getting up for? Wait, where y'all going? What's going on? Like my red antennas go up. So when that young lady got up and started walking around in my classroom, hey boo, where are you going? Can I help you? No, you need to go sit down somewhere. And at the moment that that student didn't go have a seat, that's where the teacher messed up. That's when she needed to get somebody else involved. That's when that student would not go sit down. Because the first time that student got up, hey, but why you up? Why you up? Because I ain't asked you to get up. I need you to do, sweetheart, you either have a seat or we can have somebody take you on out. Because we're not gonna go back and forward. I tell them all the time, I do not negotiate with students, okay, or terrorists, because students sometimes try to be like terrorists and take your classroom hostage. I'm not negotiating with you. I converse with adults, not with children. I teach children, but I don't converse with them. We ain't gonna have dialogue, okay? That's how I tell my students. We're not having dialogue. Now, me and your parents, or another adult, an administrator, a counselor, another teacher, me and adults, we can have conversations. We can converse and have dialogue. You and I, we ain't doing that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. We ain't playing no games. So I think that's the first place where that teacher messed up. Because when that young lady got up, if the story goes like, little baby put in the chat, when that young lady got up and followed her the first time she got up and began to follow her, hey, boo, you need to sit down. If she didn't want to sit down at that point, that was where she should have gotten somebody else involved. Hey, little Johnny, go outside, get security, let them know that this young lady is refusing to sit down and she needs to be removed. She needs to be removed. Because see, at that point, now you've covered yourself. Now you have covered yourself. Now somebody else gonna get involved and they can get the viral video. Because see, as a teacher, it's not worth it. It's not worth. It's really not worth all of that. Child, my clothes all messed up for you. Let me go back because I know I'm way behind on these comments, y'all. Way behind. I'm way behind. Who child? Where am I at? Where am I at? Do you conduct? Yeah, oh, I saw that part. What type of? Oh, I read that too. A lot of teachers get spooked. They expect teachers to allow students to hit them and not hit back. Yeah, that's true. Sense. Are you just confined to that area, or do you freelance your training? Oh, hey, I'll go anywhere and teach as long as the money is right. I do, but I do. I have been asked to speak in other states and other areas. Where am I at? In high school, my global studies teacher threw a chair at a student. He never had a problem after that day. You know what? Early on in my teaching career, I didn't throw a chair at a student, but I was in some of the most, one of those fair east side schools, okay? Where it was the worst of the worst. And baby, that first week of school, I concocted a reason to pick up. I would go every year before the school year started, they throw out like old raggedy chairs or stools and things that are broken and they put them out of thing. So I would get it and put it in the classroom conveniently because it was about to be broken anyway. Baby, somebody said something just not even remotely out of control, but I just go fly off the handle and throw it against the wall and let it shatter against the wall and say, now y'all keep, and just lose my mind. And the students be like, oh, this is crazy. And after that, I don't have no problems after that. They be like, ooh, now this young man is for real. It's the first week of school. He is certifiable. I usually be done told my security, child, I'm going to do this chair thing. Don't worry if you hear something. He'd be like, I got you, no problem. And I do it during the earlier period. So the rest of the day, the students are spreading the word. Ooh, in our class, he did such and such. Y'all don't want to go in that favorite. And the word starts to spread. I'm like, no more. See how that goes? Anyway, but yes. Look, y'all. Where am I at? Oh God, I'm so behind. I'm so behind on the chat, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so behind. I always get behind. Look, y'all. The reason I am not teaching is because I had a student jump on my back and grab my breast, and helped I helped another student. Oh dear God, Vivian, Lord, that is awful. Oh no, I didn't let my students walk around either because I taught sped. Oh, okay. Oh Lord. And listen, and the stuff that I'm talking about is from the regular students' classroom. I cannot even imagine in sped classrooms what goes down. Because these are the students that are, diagnosed. Mm. These stories are why I can't get into education. On top of that, the parents are no better. We'll get there in a second, little baby, about some of these good parents. They're even more ignorant and support their child. Child, she wouldn't have been walking around with me. I'm trying to tell you. Trying to tell you. Where am I? I'm so behind, y'all. Um, is there a panic button call? Yeah, there is a all classrooms have to have a button for you to reach the main office in case of emergency. Yes. Man, the chair hit the wall, and he said, "Now get your ass down." I'm saying, the student got the chair and sat out. Everybody got quiet. I bet he did. Child, I know. I knocked him across my desk and then went to the police officer, and I came back one more year. Mm. The white and Hispanic kids have this like that. This interesting notion. Now I have seen videos with white people um, fighting with white kids and antics in classrooms too. So I will say that I have seen that. But I saw where you were going with that, Mariah Whitney. My cousin was the principal of our former high school, and about a year and a half, for about a year and a half maybe, she brought the school from a borderline F to a borderline A in her time there. That's good, little baby. It's fine. It can be done. Come on, Joe Clark. Where am I at? They call my school DC New Jack City. You know what? She moved up to go work at the county and was happy as she maintained that the students really weren't bad, but it was the parents. Every day they're calling about how their child isn't being treated some kind of way. She was getting paid the same and doing less work. So she's less stressed. Who you telling? What the repercussion from your admin or the student's parents? Was the student punished? Did you find out his motivation? I was lucky in DC. I worked in the hood. I grew up there, and nobody bothered me because they knew my family. Oh, okay, I don't have one. I have. Oh no, wait, what? I don't know that. But chat. Where am I? Oh, I'm looking for my call. But yes, there were factors on both sides. Okay. Now, while I talked about the teacher getting up, not letting the child get up, on the same token, what's going on in this household that this child comes to school and think they can nilly willy follow the teacher around? Because there's no way in my brain when I was in school that I could have ever dreamed that I would be following some teacher around, talk about you better change my grade. I wouldn't even be here today. Wait, what? I was too scared. And say what you want to say. I have those students in the classroom where if I make the motion like I'm grabbing the phone to call a parent, baby, they immediately shut down. Oh, I'm sorry. Because they already know the home training is like play with it if you want to. Because see, I knew where I came when I grew up. My home training was play with it if you want to and see what happens. Because you weren't gonna call my house. I told y'all the story about that one time that teacher tried to call my house. I told y'all what I did. We had that story time a long time ago. You call to my house. Nope. Wow. 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 You heard me read what, Mariah Whitney? I don't know. That tells me her parents are just ignorant, if not more, on the attacking the child. Child. So, while we're talking about education, and I talked about how um, I think if your school district is still in the first quarter, you are, I don't think there's anybody, we're in halfway through November, nobody's still in the first quarter. So, parents, if you are a parent, you have got your first set of marks and grades for your son or daughter. Okay? What that means is this now is the time for you to be at threat level red if you think um that there's any issues or complications. When you start to believe that there's issues or complications, your first answer should not be it must be the teacher. I'm not saying that that's out of the scope of possibility, but that shouldn't be your first response. Okay. All right, Vivian Jennings. We do what we do on Saturday mornings. All right, Vivian. Um, but if you are not already checking, and see, you at this point should be concerned. If you have a elementary or middle school child, you need to be concerned, okay, about your child's grade. And I said elementary and middle school for a reason. Because if you have a high school child, your child should be more concerned than you are. And that's something that I have to teach my that I had to teach high school students. I said, let me help you understand something. If you are sitting in my classroom and other people are more concerned about your grade than you are, you have failed yourself. That's high school. Middle school and elementary, yes, the parents are probably more concerned. But high school, the student needs to be much more concerned. Your question to your high school students should be, what have you been doing to try to raise your grade? Did you go to the teacher to get extra help? Did you go to the teacher for tutoring? Did you ask the teacher, can I make this grade up? Did you ask the teacher, what am I doing wrong that's causing me to get this low score? What are you doing to improve your grade? Because if I, as parent, and you are a young adult almost, am getting more concerned, then I have failed you. If your child is in high school, and I ain't talking about ninth grade, I'm talking about real high school, 10th, 11th, and 12th, real high school, and you find out your child got a C or lower in a class, and you go to your child and say, well, why did you get this C? And they don't start to ramble off all of the things that they have done to try to improve that C or how they got there, then you need to be looking at yourself and that child in the mirror. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and look at that child and say, but wait a minute, where did I go wrong? Because they need to be more concerned than I am. Because what happens is this. Um, what happens is this. Hey, Jeff Harris, I see you have a lot of commentary. I'm just going to sit back. I cannot be held responsible. There are people whose names are in blue. But it's been great having you here, Jeff Harris. You seem to have a lot of commentary. What else would you like to say, Jeff Harris? What else? I'm sure you have more to add, Jeff Harris. Please, to tell. Do tell, please. Oh, well, oh well. There goes that. Oh man. But yes. So that's the first thing. Okay. Now, if let me empower, um, let me empower you as parent. Parent, a good teacher has let you know well in advance. If your son or daughter fail, they let you know well in advance. Well in advance. Now, this is where I'm going to side with the parents, and my teachers will side on me, and I don't care. If you are just finding out that your child is failing at the end of the market period, you need to go to that school and raise all kind of hell. Now, understand that you may be met with resistance because that teacher may come back and say, "Oh no, boo, I sent home a failure notice. Oh no, boo, progress reports or mid term or mid quarter reviews or whatever you call them came out, and I let you know then. Oh no, I sent an email home. Oh no, had your child sign for this failure notice. Oh no, we have parent conferences set up. You ain't come, so be ready for that. Now, if your child failed, I told you, where's the first place you go? If your child has failed, they got to see because to me, if your child is in high school, even if your child is in elementary and middle, you need to set them up early. In my household, when I was growing up, we didn't come home. A C was unimaginable, unthinkable. A C on a report card or a progress report or anything was unimaginable, unthinkable. That just was not happening. That just was not happening. But because in our household, C's were failing. In most colleges, when you get in your major, if you want your child to go to college, okay, think about it. When you were in college, maybe you rushed through a elective class in college with a C, but the classes for your major, you couldn't get a C in. You couldn't get a C in a class for your major. No, you wouldn't. And so you need to go ahead and groom and train your child now and say, nope, you only get an A or a B. And when you get this good B, I need to know why you didn't get the A. You need to come home with the answers as to what you did and how you gonna improve this B and why you don't have this good A. Those are the conversations that need to be had. Child, we gonna get there in a minute, little baby. If your child is sitting anywhere in the C range, there's a possibility um, of failing because of the child. Here's one of my any child that has ever been in my classroom, and hears me say this all the time. Do not come in here and think you're going to do just enough to pass. Because doing just enough to pass is really doing just enough to fail. If you're doing just enough to pass, you're really doing just enough to fail. I'm just being honest. And so that's why I'm saying to you, C's should not even be a part of your vernacular. See what? Oh, you need me to see this A? Oh, okay, that's nice. You know what I'm saying? Those are the conversations that you need to have. I'm just saying, I'm not paying you no mind, Mariah Whitney. I see your comment, Rochelle, about reaching out to the parents before school starts. You see that a lot of times in elementary sometimes, but I honestly in high school, the average high school teacher has about between 150 and 200 students, depending on what district you're in. One person, 150 to 200. student. And so it's not really feasible to reach out that much. Middle school teachers may have somewhere around between 100 and 150, depending on your district. Whereas an elementary teacher may have just their 20 students, at the most, maybe 30. So it's a lot easier when you're dealing with the smaller numbers. Where am I at in the chat? Because I'm not reading Mariah Whitney. Monkchip, you said y'all were usually given 2 extra times to get a better grade. Interesting. Now, when I was in school, there was no such animal as mandatory makeup. When I was in school, let me tell you something. It was at that teacher's discretion, and you had a nice teacher. That teacher let you make up an assignment. Baby, when they gave that grade and put it in there, wrote it down. I remember when I first started teaching, we still had manual grade book, the grade book, the actual little grade book. When they wrote that grade with the red pen in that grade book, baby, there wasn't no erasing. Erase what? Baby, you don't got this F and you gonna wear it. Now, we are in the days now of grace and mercy. We in the Old Testament times no more. We in New Testament times now in education. The days of grace and mercy. Um, and so a lot of like the district that I teach in now, they have built in where teachers have to offer tutoring at least 2 days a week for an hour after school. If a student fails an assignment, it is mandatory that teachers have to give 10 days after that assignment has been graded and the grade has been posted. They have to give that child 10 days in order to make up the assignment and improve their grade. This is the grace and mercy era of education. Because back in the day, not so much. And so, which is why, and then to even add insult to injury, after you do all of that, then even still, if that child legitimately earned that D or F, baby, you have to have every piece of documentation known to man. You have to be done sent at least 3 failure notices home. You have to be done made attempts to reach out to the parent to have a parent conference. You have to have every grade documented with the rubrics explaining with notations on the assignment as to why they why the grade was what it was, so forth and so on, and be ready to present that. So that's why when I was in the classroom, baby, let me tell you something. If your child had a D or an F and it was on a report card, oh hey, Jeff Harris, you back? Ooh, affirmative action. You know what? Did I benefit from affirmative action? Perhaps. Who knows? Here, that teacher better at least text me and tell me my daughter's not doing well. I'm that parent that is always in the teacher's faces. But here's the question, Shawnette Jewsbury. I don't know of a school district in the country right now that doesn't have an online grade book. I don't know of one. Meaning, at the moment that a teacher posts a grade, um, they immediately, the parents have access to it. So when you start to see that, okay, my child made a D or an F on an assignment, I keep saying, before you roll out there to the school and let have on that teacher, The first line of defense is that child. Hey, boo, talk to me about this. Talk to me. Why you got this D or F on this assignment? Now, you should be prepared. This is a child, and children lie. Children will tell you anything that they feel they need to tell you in order to get you up off of them. They'll tell you anything. And if you are gullible enough to believe it, it is what it is. Everybody is calling me this morning. Lord, I don't know why my phone is just going. Anyway, I mean, students, they do it all the time. And the problem is, students will lie because they know that their parents will believe them. They know exactly what to say. They will go to you. They'll put on their little sad face. Baby, they will put the waterworks on and all. Baby, they will get to crying, come out there and have you out there windmilling for the gods and be wrong as all get out. I see it all the time. All the time. Baby, I had them parents that used to come out there ready to go in on me. Okay. Come out there cussing. My child said you da 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 da, and you got my child crying da 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 da. Really, ma'am? Did your child show you this? Did your child show you that? Did your child tell you that they did this? Did your child tell you that they did that? Oh, they did not. Oh, what did she say you did? Oh, no, ma'am, that didn't happen. Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, ma'am, that's not how that happened. My child would never not turn in nothing. Really, ma'am? Let me show you their folder right here, ma'am. See this here folder? See, in my class, ma'am, for every missed assignment, your child has to fill out this loud pink sheet of paper. For every pink sheet of paper, that is a missed assignment. And I notice here, there's about 12 pink sheets of paper here. Oh, they didn't tell you that. Oh, see their signature right there where they signed that they didn't do this assignment? Oh, they didn't tell you that, did they? And I had this because I knew that you would be coming out here to tell me what your child would or would not do. And here's proof that your child does that. Here's the proof. Anything else we need to talk about? Because this conversation doesn't involve me anymore. It involves you and your child. Hey, Michelle Brooks. I agree, Yolanda. I think the way the education system is going, the days of grace and mercy have is really crippled a lot of the generation in terms of dealing with the harshness of life. I'll tell you all of the time, one of the realities that a lot of students tell me when they come back, when they go to college, is this. In secondary, in primary and secondary education, which is K through 12, they have across the country, you have to participate or you have to practice differentiated instruction, which means that a teacher is supposed to tailor their instruction to meet the needs of every student in this classroom. Because I can have 35 kids in the classroom, and now I have to tailor my instruction and my assignment and everything that I'm doing to meet the needs of all 35 of them. Yeah, yeah, believe it or not. How it gets done. But the problem is when you go off to college, there's no such animal as differentiated instruction in college. Baby, it's differentiated learning because that professor stays right there and says, listen, let me help you understand something. I don't care how you learn. I don't care what your problem is. I don't care. This is how I teach. You like it, and deal with it. If you don't like it, oh well. This is how I teach, and you either gonna learn or you gonna fail. That's the long and short of it. That's the long and short of it. The long and short of it. One professor, You might have a couple hundred students in there, and what that professor said, here you go, learn it however you learn it. You better learn how to. You better go get some help. There's a center over there where you can get some tutoring. And I think that with this student, and a lot of students tell me that they've been crippled because they're so used to having things catered to them, and then when they get in an atmosphere like in college where things are not catered to them, they then feel like they're at a disadvantage, and they haven't learned how to maneuver. They haven't learned metacognition. There's a word for it today, metacognition, which is a word meaning knowing how one learns, and they haven't learned all of that. They haven't had to grapple with all of that. So yeah, child. I see your comments, Michelle Brooks. We don't do all that. We don't do all of that doxing and all of that stuff, child. We on a whole nother topic. I need to see how college professors are dealing with the influx of 504s and IEPs showing up in college these days. Now, most colleges, Mariah Whitney, believe it or not, they don't deal with IEPs. Most students who have an IEP when they were in secondary school, when they get to college, very few of them. Most colleges have different paperwork for students who need accommodations. Most of those accommodations are dealing with physical accommodations. Very few accommodations on the college level are geared toward uh, you having learning disabilities. Very few. They are very few and far between. Hey, Divin. Hey, JD Ali. Um, so I don't know. So I don't know. But I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just jaded sending me text messages. But yes, y'all, that is the reality of it. So, and that goes to one of my other topics is this. As a parent, you cannot sit back and say, oh, I'm just going to sit back and allow the education system to educate my child. You have to be involved. Hey, Janice, I didn't even see you come in. You have to be involved in that. You cannot leave it to that teacher who may be only with that child for X amount of hour for that hour or two in the day to say, oh, they're responsible for making my child into an adult. They're responsible for preparing my child to be, a productive member of society. It's just not what, you can't do that. You can't. And so that's why I think a lot of times, as much as they say the education system fails students, people forget that parents are involved with the education system. So if the education system is failing students, parents are failing students. I'm going to have to drink to that. Whew, so good. Right, Yolanda. And the reason for that is this. Remember, college is post-secondary. The only thing that our system of government or our system of rules here in these yet to be United States really affords you for free is primary and secondary, K through 12. After that, that's of your own volition. That is because you feel that you want to, you know, get yourself, go and get advanced degrees and stuff like that. So what that means is this: if you were already struggling to make it through, and I guess struggling is not the right word, so let me rescind that word. But if you were having major accommodations had to be made for you to learn, or major difficulties for you to learn in K through 12. You're talking about the college level where there is a differentiated instruction taking place. It's not, they're not making those accommodations. They just aren't. They just are not. Now, if you have a physical accommodation, then we're here for that. The what is it, the ADA? Um, the act that made it where, uh, you cannot have a public place or a forum where, you people who need physical accommodations are not given those accommodations. So colleges are definitely making those accommodations. They make accommodations for hearing and sight and all kinds of accommodations as long as it's physical, but not so much when you start to go to the mental and emotional. They definitely ain't doing no emotional. I'm just saying. Each year there used to be a fall festival put on by the PTA. That's no more because the parents aren't involved. Interesting. You, what do you think of specialist degrees in education? Any tips? Um, you know how advanced degrees go, Mariah Whitney. You got to write, or you got to pay people like me to write for you. People do that. You got to either write papers. All you do in grad school is write papers. And I teach writing. And I teach my students all of the time. If you cannot write, you are not getting an advanced degree. I'm sorry, because every discipline, even the pure sciences, even pure mathematics, even the arts, you will be writing, period, if you are getting an advanced degree. And so either you learn to write well, that's what I tell my students that I teach how to write, or you pay someone like me to write for you and be your ghostwriter. Oh boy, the children today are even on 12th grade level when they complete high school. That's true. Here's the shocking part. Most graduation exams, when you really look at it, they take in 10th grade. Most of the exams that most states give in order for you to get your high school diploma comes around 10th grade. Most of the stuff on there is on an 8th grade level. Here's another one. Here's where I'm about to go in on my own colleagues. Most exams that you have to take to become a teacher, the general, and you in most districts you take, I know in Florida we call it the general knowledge, or the basic general knowledge exam, which covers reading, English, math, and just general stuff to make sure that you got some sense up there. You went to college. That's the first exam you take to become a teacher. Then they have a professional exam, and then they have an exam that you take for your specific subject area, which is subject area tech. But general test, general knowledge test, most of that is on an 8th grade level. And there are people who there are people who struggle to pass the exam and talk about they want to teach somebody's children. I said, what the hell? You over here struggling to pass exams, but you finna teach somebody how to take an exam. Come on. Now, come on now. Child. Listen, I took those exams and slept through them and woke up and said, oh, let me finish, and still passed. It was just that easy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. Woo, Channel 85 knew I was not an English major. Uh, Wait, Florida has three. What? Right. In order to get a teaching license, you have to take the general knowledge test, and the general knowledge test has like 3 or 4 parts. You have to take. That's the first exam you have to pass, which most people fail. That's the test that gives most people problems, which is on an 8th grade level. Then you have to take the professional test, which is a test about professionalism and all the professional standards of education and pedagogy and stuff like that. The whole What would you do in this situation? What should that test? And then you have the subject area test, where you have to take a test to certify you within a particular subject matter. Even if you're elementary, elementary takes the um, elementary. What's it called? Elementary ed, but it's K through 5. If you are in middle school, you will take a subject area. It could be math, science, social, whatever, but it'll be 5 through 9. And if you teach high school, you take that subject area test for 6 through 12. So yeah, they don't play around about them tests. And if you want to be a teacher, listen. If you want to be a teacher, a lot of districts tell you you got um that first year to pass the general knowledge. And some districts won't even let you start unless you pass all 3 tests. But they give you 3 years to pass all tests. The state rule is you have 3 years to pass all your tests. They'll give you a temporary certificate. And after 3 years, if you ain't passed that test, they snatch you out. They snatch you. Well, Mariah Whitney, it used to be that way. But what happened was Florida made the rules much stricter. You cannot teach high school if you don't have 6 through 12. You cannot teach middle school if you do not have either 6 through 12 or 5 through 9. Now, most elementary schools will not hire you if you have 5 through 9, because what that means is you can only teach 5th grade and you're only certified within that one discipline in 5 through 9. Most elementary schools, those teachers have to teach multiple disciplines. Well, I'm saying that's the state mandate 3 years, but most districts aren't giving you 3 years. The state will give you 3 years, a temporary certificate for 3 years, and it might have changed. I don't know. It was so long when I got mine. But most districts, they want you to have that either within your first year or before you even apply. Early childhood development. Okay. Coaches have to be teachers. Well, no, I take that. Oh, let me take that back. If a coach is a teacher, he's a teacher, so he has to get certified. Now, some coaches may be support staff in the school. Some coaches are security guards, or they might be clerical, or they might work in another part of the school. Um, so yes, coaches, they might work, because I know a good friend of mine. He's a coach. He's an offensive coordinator at my former high school, and he works IT for the district. And they have their own tests, and they have their own things that they have to do to do that as well. So, but you got to go through the district, and you got to get fingerprinted and all of that stuff. You working with kids, so you got to get fingerprinted and background checked and all of that stuff. You got to do. You got to do. Oh, I probably should drop my information. Here is my email. It is because like I said, somebody asked me earlier, but I do travel and I do forums on education, and I do teach teachers how to teach. End up doing a lot of classroom management, and I do a lot of instruction on how to motivate Black male students. Motivation for Black male students in secondary education. I don't forgot all my own social media stuff. But yes, these are that's my open Twitter right there. I have a closed Twitter. Well, see, it depends on the district with that, Yolanda, about coaches. I do know if you are going to be a coach, You do have to have, because we have volunteers in my old district where there were levels to your volunteer. Like you could be a volunteer level one, two, three, four, and level one was the highest level of volunteer where you had to get almost, I believe you had, if you were a level one volunteer, you had to have the same fingerprinting and background checks as a regular employee and staff member. And then there's level two, and it all depends on your amount of interaction that they allow you to have with the student. So there were some people that had clearances as a volunteer, and they might have level one, but I don't know because coaches get paid. So in order for you to get paid, you got to be on payroll. And so I don't know, unless they were just volunteering their time, how that would work. Oh yeah, you ain't teaching with no past drug trafficking charge. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, you're not. No, you're not having a felony. I shouldn't say you aren't having a felony, but there are definitely certain felonies that they are looking for. You ain't doing nothing with drugs and think you're gonna be in nobody's schools. That's not gonna happen. Rise Whitney says, give struggling, give a tip for motivating black male students. Well, the first thing, some of the things that most of the people that I do instructions on for that are white. Very few of them. I go into districts where it's mainly white, and I go into a room. I'm the only black person in the room, much less black male. Um, and so one of the issues is that don't try to be something that you aren't. You see a lot of people descendant from the Caucasus Mountain who try to patronize black students by, oh, I'm going to teach you metaphors by using uh, Tupac and rap. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, let me use this hip hop lingo. Don't do that. Oh, let's watch this video that is. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not insult the intelligence of a student because they are a student of color. They can handle the classics. They can handle the curriculum. You don't have to dumb it down. And too often, not now. This is gonna come out a little shady. Not to you all in my chat. But sometimes when I run across people in their chats and I have to, and I might be, typing in people's chat, I do sometimes have to dumb it down for some of the people in YouTube screens. I'm sorry. That came out a little shady. Oh, child. Interesting. Now, channel 85, I have noticed that a lot of districts are hurting for teachers, and um, they began to try to bring in anybody. They need bodies in the classrooms because people still making babies, which means that there's still a need for teachers out there. And so they begin to lower their standards and expectations for what they will and will not allow to be in the classroom. So you do see that sometimes. You do see that. Good morning, Cynthia Hammonds Hatch. Good morning. But yes, so nobody had any oh, y'all have had questions. I'm sorry, I've been answering questions all morning. But this is your time. If you have a question about um education, maybe your son or daughter is experiencing something, you want to get my thoughts or opinion or advice on it, involving education, I will answer as best I can know with my 16 years of knowledge of teaching. Um, so yes. Um, so put it in the chat, please. Put it in the chats, because and I wanted to talk about education stuff because far be it for this to be angry teacher chronicles, and we never talk education, and I'm not able to be an angry teacher sometimes. But I will say this: a lot of times, and this is speaking out for um, this is speaking out for my fellow educators. It a lot of times does feel like everybody, educators, the teacher gets it from everybody. You get it from the student. The student is telling you you done did something wrong. The parent is coming at you telling you wrong. The administrators are telling you that you're wrong. The general public is telling you. So you sit there like everybody just coming at you. You like, really? So I just can't do nothing right for nobody. Nobody don't see it for me, right? That's what we doing today. Nobody see it for me. You end up really feeling that way. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, little Johnny or little Janet over there know they as wrong as all get out. No, they ain't did nothing. But they over there laughing and smiling while everybody else around the teacher windmilling on that teacher, telling the teacher what they done did wrong and how they ain't do what they were supposed to do. It's one of the only professions where we do our job and do everything that we're supposed to do, but this other person they did what they were supposed to do, and then we get extra work. Right? I don't know. How do you assist a parent with an autistic child? Do you think one class system still works? Um, I do think that um I do think that it depends, especially if it's an autistic child. That child needs to be diagnosed. And with autistic children, it just depends on the case. Some autistic students may work well in a setting where they deal with one student, they have a sense of normalcy, and they need a change is not good for them. There are others who do need some change and who do need to um, have different environments and stuff like that. The problem is there's just, unfortunately, in public education, now you may have private schools or specialized schools, but in most public educations, we were just talking about it, there's just not the manpower to give an individual one-on-one attention to every student that falls in the spectrum. And that's where the parents then have to step in and decide what's going to be best for their child. Is this, and maybe not that it's the school's fault, but maybe these are the resources that the school has for them, and maybe that child needs. Maybe you might have to pay for your child to go to school, and you may have to pay for these specialized programs. Or even if you say, okay, I'm gonna have my child in public school, you may have to pay for an after school program or a supplementary educational program that you do outside of the normal school day, where that child can get that specialized one-on-one attention. Um, Inclusion is not always best for everybody. Inclusion is not always best. Some it is, some it isn't. That's why I say you have to really take it in a case by case scenario. And for those people who are not familiar with what inclusion is the model where you have students in special education that instead of being in a classroom where it's all special education students or SPED students, as we call them for short, they have those students in the general education classroom. Um, and so this is where you have general ed students and you have uh, special ed students, and the teacher is not supposed to make it known who's general ed and who's special ed. Everybody's supposed to be treated as general ed. Now, the teacher will make the requisite accommodations for those general ed, those special education students as deemed in their IEPs or 504. Um, some experiences in special education is great. Some of them are not so great, and it's just dependent on. Sometimes it's due to resources. Sometimes it's due to the staff and personnel. Sometimes it's due to the parents. You know what I'm saying? That's just the long and short of it. I feel. Wait, where am I at? My 11-year-old science teacher can't seem to. My 11-year-old science teacher My 11-year-old science teacher can't seem to control the class. My daughter's always telling me stories about about how out of control the class is. Should I go talk to the principal? Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because the first rule of a classroom, listen, there are two things. The first two rules in education for a teacher is this: the first job of an educator is to keep the students safe. Safety is the first rule in a classroom. Safety. Make no bones about it. The second rule is classroom management. I ain't said nothing about the curriculum. I ain't said nothing about no classwork, homework, grades, and nothing like that. The first two rules is safety, followed by classroom management. Because if you cannot manage the classroom, if there's no order, there's no education happening. You got little Johnny and Ray Ray and Pookie them over here cutting up and getting the teacher's attention where she got to focus all her attention over here while Nuck Nuck, Billy, and Brian are over here sitting down, really doing everything in their power to learn, but they can't because teacher over here dealing with Pookie, Ray Ray, and Johnny. And Po Nuck Nuck, Brian, and you know what I'm saying? I can't learn nothing. And the sad truth is, and for that, I forgot who asked, but yeah, now is the time to get your child out of that class. When you start hearing those stories, you should already have your child out of class because you do not deal with classes where there's no classroom management. Why? Because it takes 1 year. And let me say this to every parent. It takes 1 year with one bad class, one bad teacher, one bad whatever it is of education, and the learning curve will pass you by. That child will be trying to play catch up for the rest of their education, um, their life educationally, because of that 1 year um, where there was no learning taking place. And you can't afford that, not for your child. Somebody, I think it was Wiley, asked about unions. Unions can be great, but unions can also be, you know, crippling as well. I do think that there's a place for the union. I certainly think that there needs to be unions because without unions, we wouldn't have a lot of things in place that we have. But also, there's also a lot of within the unions, with as with any group, there's a hierarchy, there's favoritism. Excuse me, and there are sometimes there are what's the word I'm looking for? Ulterior motives behind things that are put in place. Florida, no. Florida is still a union state. Most school districts do have a union in Florida. Texas is a non-union state. There's no unions in Texas. And let me go back. Oh, it was Shawnette. Yeah, Shawnette. Yeah, you need to go talk to the principal, counselor, principal, somebody, and say, listen, and see what your options are. Now, I will say this, and be prepared for this. A lot of schools will tell you we don't do teacher shopping. Now, some parents will come in with the teacher shopping mentality where they say, well, I just don't like this teacher. So I want my child in another class. A lot of schools will tell you, no, we don't do teacher shopping around here. But if there's legitimately a problem with the management in that classroom, then that's a conversation that you do need to have. That is a conversation. And that might mean it may take some time because maybe the administration may need to do their due diligence where they go into the classroom and do some observations and, figure out what's going on. But um, you may have to press the issue. And if it's just that bad and you're met with resistance, then let me empower you as a parent. Now, I've been on both sides. Now, when you go as a parent, make sure that you are going, with all of your ducks in a row. Have the story correct. Make sure that it's legitimate. Make sure that everything that's being said is legitimate. But be ready to press the issue. And if they can't give you no justice at the school side, every principal hates getting that call from the district. So it is what it is. I love spirit, but it's going to be done right. But it's got to be done right. Okay. What about hyperactive, restless in class, aggressive on the playground, talking while teacher's speaking? However, she very smart. But that all goes back to listen. I told you I don't work with the worst of the worst. You gotta manage your classroom. You gotta have classroom management. I don't care who you are, the adult in that class. And if you cannot manage your classroom, then what that means is maybe this is not the profession for you. Okay. That's just like if you say, oh, I want to be a doctor, but I don't like blood. Baby, you don't need to be a doctor. If you say you want to be a teacher and you can't deal with the fact that students sometimes get hyperactive and sometimes they got smart mouths and they, flip off at the mouth and you don't know how you're going to be able to manage that, then baby, you don't need to be a teacher. If you say, oh, I want to be a garbage man, but I can't stand the smell of the garbage, well, baby, you don't need to be a garbage man. It comes with the territory. And so you need to be now, maybe that teacher may need to sit down with some veteran teachers and learn some of the tricks, some of the little things that some of us veteran teachers have that has worked over the years. And even when you start to learn those things, you still have to develop your own thing because you're still not that teacher. And what worked for them may or may not work for you. Because I've heard like sometimes a younger teacher will come and they'll ask me something or ask me about a classroom management strategy, and I'll tell them, and that teacher will go to their classroom and try to do it. And so my students will come back, Miss So and so was trying to be like you. She tried to do such and such in her class, and it ain't even work. She can't even do it. They come back. Students are honest, so you do still have to be who you are. Yeah, because as Judge Judy said, teenagers' mouth moving their lives. Trying to tell you. Let me I'm way behind. I'm just gonna fast forward because I'm way behind on the comments, y'all. Way behind. Um, where I'm at. If you don't get satisfaction, then I hope that you have an open school choice. We do, and I would change schools next year. Why do white census teachers? White census teachers struggle so much. Are you talking about like Teach for America teachers, Mariah Whitney? You don't even go down that road. TFAs. Parents who want to mow down every possible obstacle that their child encounters. That is true. Now you do have a lot of lawnmower parents. You have parents that want to make everything a bed of roses. They want they don't want their child to have to overcome anything. You know what one of my biggest fights is? When I was in the classroom as an English teacher, I've even had to go to the district about it. As an English teacher, I have a rule. You do not write in my classroom in pencil, period. If you write in pencil, I tell you from day one, I make you sign the syllabus and the classroom contract, which both states, parent signs and student sign it. I sign it. At no point will you ever write in pencil unless you are explicitly asked to write in pencil by the instructor. And usually that's only for one of those Scantron bowl tests. And now we have the Scantron test now where you can do those in pen. Okay? So, my point being, parents were so angry. How you gonna tell my child they got to write in pen? My child need to be able to erase. Da 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 da. They don't even know why that's a rule. Now, here's a couple rules, reasons why. I do it because every student that enters my class, whether it's a regular class or advanced class or honors class, I prepare them I teach every class like I'm preparing them to be in my AP class. And if you've taken the AP English tests, they must be done in pen. They do not allow essays in pencil. They must be done in pen. And so I teach students how to write in pen. I want them to write in pen also because I want them to see their mistakes. I say, no, don't scribble it. Even when you write a pen, don't scribble it out. Draw a line through it because I want you to go back and see the mistakes that you made so that you're aware of them and you won't make those mistakes either anymore, I should say. I also have my students write in pen because see these little things called glasses? And when I have all my papers stacked together and the lid from the pencil start to rub together and stuff like that, some of the lid from the pencil it starts to smear and rub away, and I can't read it and see it as well as when you first wrote it. These are the facts, which is the same reason I don't let students write on the back of the paper. I have rules. Get over it. You cannot write on the back of the paper in my classroom. Period. Why? Because sometimes the ink runs through it, and I can't read. Why am a red pen teacher? You know that was a big thing in school districts, and I said, okay, because the school district tried to, well, not the school district, my principal at the time, no red pens in the classroom. Okay, great. So I started using green. And then they had a problem with the green pen. And so I told my principal, it don't matter what color it is. It could be red, it could be green, it could be doodle brown. They gonna figure out whatever color I'm writing in. It ain't nothing about the color of the pen. It is me. They don't want to be corrected. They do not like to be corrected and have criticism. They don't like it. So I could write it whatever I want to write. I could write in blood. They're gonna be have a problem with that. Just saying. Wait, what's Shawnette saying? I'm missing Shawnette's comment. Wait, let me go back. I'm way behind. Well, I'm not that bad. I teach my kids to handle their problems, so platinum every day. Okay. Preparing them for the real world again. This is why do one female teachers where am I at? Oh god, I'm way behind y'all. I'm way behind y'all. Where am I at? I'm not gonna say all white female because I know some white female teachers, Mariah Whitney, that are great in their classroom management. They do not play the radio, so I'm not gonna put that on all white female teachers. No, I'm so behind y'all. Oh boy. I asked my daughter what did they do yesterday. She said the kids were making so much noise, nothing was done. Mm. Let me empower you, Shawnette. I don't know what district you're in. Some districts, like the district that I was from, we had to keep student folders or portfolios, whatever you want to call it. So every assignment that was done was kept by the teacher in the student work folder. And a parent can come and request to review the folder. I need you to go through every grade with me. Now, if you roll up in that classroom and that folder is real thin, that should tell you ain't nothing being done. Now, if you are in a district where the student brings stuff home, a good parent is allowed, the student brings the, keeps the assignment. What most good parents do is they tell their child, every assignment you get, you need to bring it home because I need to keep it and stack it and document it. So when your teacher says you got this grade, I need to match it up and have my documentation. You know what I'm saying? So I would, if that's going to be the telltale sign that nothing is happening. If you go there and say, well, let me do an audit of my child's student work so far, and if that folder is real skimpy, then you know it's a problem. Oh, hey Tanari HQ, thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate you for the super chat. Let me give you your virtual blowjob for the super chat and give you a quick Shonda in the room. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much for that. It means a lot that you would think enough of us to do that. I'm sorry, this is not time. Where am I at? Where am I at? I'm in and out at the store. Gotta make a seafood mac and cheese. Just out. Come on, seafood mac and cheese. Now you done made me hungry. Maybe you making some lemonade too. Right. Right. I didn't know it was this bad. Um, I really thought that kids just act up at the beginning and then calm down. I'm definitely going to talk to them. No, listen. Let me help you understand, Shawnette. If that student, if that teacher does not establish from the beginning, there's no. I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but it's very hard to reel it back in. It's very hard. That's why the first 3, 4 days of my class, I don't teach. There's no curriculum going on. You know what the first 3, 4 days of my class is? I am teaching my rules, my policies, and my procedures. You learning that like that's your. We having a whole quiz on them. I don't play them games. We're gonna baby. And here's the other thing, Shawnette. If your child has these stories, that means other teachers in that building also know that that teacher ain't teaching nothing. And so now it depends on the school. Some teachers, I would say maybe ask another teacher if it's a problem with that teacher. But most teachers, they try to have each other's back. So you may ask a teacher, and they might be like, no, Miss So and so is just fine. Knowing in their mind, they like, yeah, Miss So and so ain't teaching nothing over there. She could really run her classroom. But they try to, hold down their fellow colleagues. But I trust and believe if the problem is that bad, I would venture to tell you that other teachers know and probably administration knows as well. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm being honest. It's very, I don't know. I got some Pepsi and I want some sweet tea. Oh boy. I'm not playing with you, Mariah Whitney. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this. No, 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 it's no problem. I know, child. We about to let y'all go watch y'all football. I done been on longer than I usually be on anyway. We about to get off in just a second, honey. Channel 85. Don't worry. But if you got to go ahead and step out, go ahead and step out, boy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. We about to get off in a little bit. Oh, man, big team. Mariah Whitney. Wait, I have a daughter preparing to fill out college application. And on what's the best way to reach him? Oh, you can email me. I put my email in the chat. That's the best way to reach me. Yeah. Email me. Um, but yeah, I did want to, like I said, have that conversation. Now that we've gotten it out the way, the last thing before we get off, and I purposely say this for last, the people have asked me on my whole um, thoughts on the zero tolerance situation. As I said in my video um, that I made earlier this week, I expect that if I throw a little shade at somebody, if I send darkness, I expect that person to have responses, retorts. They may want to shade me or whatever. It doesn't bother me. Now, I did not see the video that was on Wiley's channel. That apparently was zero tolerance, was um calling me all kinds of F bombs and stuff like that, and so forth and so on. Hey, these things are to be expected. There's no reason for me to, go back and forward. You know what I'm saying at this point, because it is what it is. Um, I I threw a little light. He could throw his back, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We move on. I expect there to be a response from people from me. These are things that happen. So, but y'all know me. That's not my thing. I just throw a little shade and I stay here on the porch. You know. So ain't no need now. If I am summoned off the porch, then I might still stay on the porch, because the last thing I want it to be thought, or the last thing I want is people to think that I'm just jumping off the porch for any and everybody and any and everything. There are some situations where I may deem it necessary, and when those situations arise, we will deal with it. But I don't feel the need in this situation, not because of fear of what groupies. But because, like I said, I know on the gentleman's panel, I threw a little light out there, and I expected there to be a retort, and there was, and it is what it is. Child, if I got concerned every time somebody called me the F bomb, child, child. That's the least of me being worried. Somebody calling me that, the F bomb, child. That's the best you got. That's the that's what I said to somebody. Wait, let's backtrack this. The best you could do was come up with the F bomb. Like, you couldn't piece some things together a little better than that? Child, you ain't even worth my time. If that's the best you got, is calling me the F bomb and cuss me out. You ain't gave me no kind of read that's gonna make me think, oh, child, you did that. I don't need to worry. We stay on the porch, sip on our coffee, and keep it together. Somebody asked me, will he be on the gentleman's panel? Absolutely not. Period. Point blank. .com. Period. Like my girl say. And he's like, I won't be on there if he's on there. You know what I'm saying? Will he be on the gentleman's panel? No, absolutely not. Listen. And the thing about the gentleman's panel is this: we all really like each other on the gentleman's panel. Make no bones about it. There's no friction, beef, or anything amongst the gentleman's panel. We enjoy each other's company on the panel so much that I don't think anybody would bring someone on that is going to disrupt what is going on now. Even when, for example, even when I told Wiley, I don't mind, I wouldn't mind you being on the gentleman's panel. I still, people forget that I told him right after that it's a collective and it would be a decision for the entire panel to make. It wouldn't be something left up to me. And it's the same way with anybody, whoever it is. This is something that, all of the members of the panel would have to say, yeah, I'm okay with it. Because even if you have one person on the channel that says, I don't want them, then the answer is no in my book, only because now you're going to alienate and ostracize one of the members of the panel. And we that's not something that we need. And that could cause friction that may be irreparable. So, but yeah, so that is my word on the there's no need for me to come off, the porch for nobody. Chat. We on the porch. It'll be another 4-5 months before I come off the porch. Maybe, who knows? Might not have to come off the porch no more. Not like apparently I don't, because really BTV child double dutched off the porch last night. Dear God, do Jesus and do him well. Woo, child. Did y'all see really BTV? Baby. The way she did that triple axel off the porch, Henny. What you buying us, Tanari, in this good grocery store, girl? What is you buying? Because I'm real hungry. I'm real hungry. I like seafood. I love me some good seafood. Mm. Anyway, y'all, we've had a great time. We've been on here 2 hours. I'm about to get off. About to go get me something to eat and watch some good college football and not be bothered for the rest of the day. Captivating Christian just put all my stuff out there if you want to excuse me. Oh, that's not cute. If you want to know how to reach me, Cash App, Instagram, email is right there. Captivating Christian put it in the chat for you. I appreciate everything that you do. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you to my mods. Thank you, all of you all in my house of debauchery, all my house of debauchery people. Mm. We appreciate everybody. Sean, let's put a, you know how we can't end it without everybody putting a quick Shondo in the chat before we get out. But y'all know I love y'all. Y'all know how we do over here. Y'all know we always want to laugh. We want to learn. And we want to just enjoy each other's company. So hopefully you learned some things today. Hopefully you laughed a little bit today. And and we keep it moving. We'll be back maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna have my football picks tomorrow, but I probably will go live again tomorrow. I might be on somebody else's channel. Who knows? Maybe I might have to stay in on Really BTV's channel for a couple of days and see if we can reel her back into on the porch, because that young lady, baby, when she did that double dutch off the porch last night on Wiley, I was like, oh, I was not ready. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Really BTV's video from last night. Maybe you need to see maybe the first about 20 minutes or so. Oh no. Child. Anyway. Ooh. Can I show y'all what just popped up on my Can I show y'all what just popped up on my Instagram? Y'all are gonna love this, okay? This is what, when I open Instagram, this is because we're in keeping with debauchery, and we're gonna go out with this. This is what pops up on my Instagram. This is what I see on my Instagram. Woo, child. Lord Jesus. I tell you, there's a God who sits up high and looks down low. And how do I know it? Exhibit A. Can I get a quick shondo on our way out for that wonderful Instagram video? Oh, dear Lord, that was nice. That was so nice. Did you see what I captivated, Christian? Did you see what I saw? I'm gonna send that to you. I got you captivated. I'm gonna send it to you personally on Instagram. There you go, boo. So that you have some of that. There you go, boo. You're welcome. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. It's been nice. It's been fun. Y'all have fun today. Y'all know we're gonna be in the bushes. We gonna be in the bushes. We're gonna be having a good time today. And we're gonna make it do what it do. Thank y'all for everything. Thank y'all for y'all support this week. Thank y'all for loving on me this week. Thank y'all for loving on the gentlemen's panel. And I know I got out of character this week. And let me say this, wow, before I'm done. I apologize to my house of debauchery. This is the only people I'm apologizing to. If, I was a little, you know, not my normal self. And I know y'all would expect those things from me. So I will give you all what you normally expect from me more often. But y'all know me too. And when, the time comes, when it's go time, it's go time. Cha. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Love, love, love y'all. Love, love, love y'all. I'm out of here. Peace and blessings. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely.